Rick and Morty. Now, Rick and Morty is a interesting show, to say the least. It's a show that I actually do like, and I like to watch it sometimes. It's a show that I enjoy watching sometimes. It can be really entertaining and funny and downright hilarious at times, you know. And it's one of the few shows that can do dark humor, shock humor, edgy humor really well most of the time. And I love that about it, honestly. And also, it has a bunch of other good shit, like good characters, good and relatable characters, good and relatable moments and stories, interesting stories, deep and meaningful lessons, and deep and meaningful stories to tell. It has a lot of good shit in it. It really does. And it's a good show. It really is. But, and here's the big but, sometimes it's just too much. Sometimes they take things way too far. And I understand it's one of those shows that likes to push the boundaries and be over the top and whatnot. And I love that about it, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's too much, It goes too far. It pushes way past people's boundaries, you know. It's too over the top, you know. It's sometimes it seems like they're trying too hard, with it, with the edgy jokes, the shock humor, the dark humor. It seems like they're just constantly trying to get a rise out of people and shock people and get a reaction. And they seem like really over reliant on, that a bit too much at times. And it just usually just ends up, when they do it too much, it just ends up being not really that funny. And it's just more cringy and uncomfortable. It makes it kind of go, ugh. And just feel weird and uncomfortable. Like, for instance, I'll give you a perfect example of when they go too far. They seem to be a huge fan and love incest jokes and just incest in general. They seem to love it, and they seem to be huge fans of it for some reason, because it's all over the goddamn show. I understand they're just making jokes about a taboo thing and, talking about a taboo thing just to shock people and whatnot. But the show already has enough shock humor. It already has enough shocking shit in it. It already has enough, dark humor and shocking humor and disgusting and crude humor. It already has enough as it is. You don't need to pile it on with some really cringy, uncomfortable, weird incest jokes and incest remarks and incest. Like, you really don't need that. It's really unneeded. And every time it happens in the show, it just makes me feel weird and uncomfortable and, cringe. It makes me go like, ugh, I don't want to watch this. I don't really want to watch this. And yeah. And usually when it happens, I just switch it off and we'll go watch something else. But yeah. All in all, Rick and Morty is a mixed bag to me. You know, sometimes it can be really good and great and amazing, and other times it can just be weird and cringy and awful and uncomfortable. Yeah. It's kind of like opening a Chex bag, a bag of Chex Mix. I mean, it's kind of like that, you know. Sometimes you're going to get something good, like one of those cheddar breadstick things, or maybe a pretzel, or maybe a Chex piece and a cheddar one if you got the cheddar kind. Or some other time you would get a disgusting little piece of bread thing that tastes like a burnt potato chip that you just want to spit out as soon as you put it in your mouth. So, yeah. Rick and Morty's kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah.